Starting over. But yeah, why would they be interested? This thing is so stupid. Absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. I was found innocent in 18. That's where it's stupid and rich. They found all the kids lying in 18, where all the undercover police investigators are following everybody around. Well, they found Melissa telling the kids to lie, and the kids stating they were pretending on Thanksgiving 18. They were documenting games to pretend, carrying around the house case. What cops in uniform call it. September 27th, 18. Well, the Canton FBI started a protective custody case for an informant and turned it over to the police, not looking into anything, not knowing about the judge's daughter, and that they were framing me. Or he would have arrested them. Yeah. I mean, people, like Officer Reinhardt said, the whole county couldn't say a word to you in your whole life. There's a county judge's family involved. They would have went to the marshals or the FBI. Nobody said a word. Nothing. Because it was them. And I told you about that weird man breaking in, drugging me, and telling me that, saying that crazy stuff about an icon I didn't know. And then I guess I'm supposed to be a murderer. Then they said, broke into a home, tied my arms and legs to a chair, knocked it over, kicked it over, and jumped out a window. They even said some lie about my middle son, about me being a flasher. And I call him, he's like, I'll verify that never happened. And I'm like, they had told me to say such crazy stuff under amnesia drugs. Dear God, I could be a bank robber. I never talked to anybody. I had bruises. And some of the guys that watch me, because I'd have Werther's lozenges out, and I come in, and I would even pop on my mouth, and I get dizzy. They just like, stop eating those candies. They could be rubbing drugs on them. Every time Dave touched my drinks, I'd throw up. It was bad. I'd wake up and I'd have bruises. And I had bruises before the FBI. Orange-sized, grapefruit-sized bruises on both legs. A cut on my leg. I was bleeding onto the bed. I had hand marks on my arms. I'm like, did I squeeze myself? And the fingerprints were bigger than mine. I called Dave. I woke up crying. He's like, maybe I got you with a toenail. It was wide as a cigarette and as long. They had to even cut me under drugs, and I didn't remember. That's how I couldn't remember to tell Will anything but the what a shame guy instead of the attempted kidnapping, attempted carjacking, threatened to knife me guy. He's a lot more scary than just what a shame and looking at me like a freak. Or the asshole paymer the night before. And they run around. Yeah, those guys walking by my apartment last night. Some guy from Ravenna came down here, told us not to say a word about her. I didn't realize they didn't file anything against her. Duh! I tell people that all the time. You go under Portage County courthouse. You know what's there? My divorce. I never stood in front of a judge for them to weigh out evidence to see if I should have charges. So where they run around telling people I have charges, I have nothing. I've never even been questioned. You want to put it that way? I've never even been questioned. Like I said, the Ravenna police looked at me. Trust me, we were never interested in you. Ever. One guy looked at me and said, it's stupid, she knows nothing. I'm like, what? And somebody started talking about Michelle. He came up and went, trust me, I'm no longer interested. Because it was a bitchy diva. Her dad paying off some crap cops to break my door in, to start stalking me, and then drug me up to say something stupid and photoshopping shower scenes. It's private property. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. Failure to notify for initiating and speaking to the other person in the home is abuse and misconduct, and failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. It goes into the right of privacy, illegal search and seizure. Just because your husband starts dating a judge's daughter, the undercover police cannot break your door in and start stalking you. It's private property. It's breaking and entering and stalking with intent of extortion if you didn't die, and to cover up premeditated murder, and then drugging me up to frame me and photoshopping shower scenes like this in another room, and then people telling on him because they're tired of this. But yeah, there was never any charges filed because they would have had to have something admissible, and not one thing they have is admissible. They can't even look at it. They actually admit they were even watching me in my home before Will's case. They go to jail. It's 5 years, illegal search and seizure. And those people lose their badge. They never had a court order to watch me. There's no such thing. Even the police. You know, I've been talking to 2 retired sheriffs, and they said these people are looking stupider and stupider the more they open their mouths. They are. And he said, as far as those amnesia drugs, they could have told you to say you tried to kill the president and you would have believed it. And would have said it. And he said, you know those guys that took down the towers? Those amnesia drugs are so bad, they could have drugged them, told them to do it. And under the influence of the drugs, they could have done it and not realize they were killing themselves and all those people. They're mind-controlling drugs. They're sleepwalking. My ex defended me on tape during the police investigation. Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. I had him verified that he knew I never did anything wrong. Because people are breaking in, stabbing you with needles. You should have seen my face. I'm sure it was priceless. I woke up with bruises, and I went to Walmart. This old ass came up to me. For every idle word you tell on us, I'll turn it on you. You try to leave, Dave, I'll list you this dirty word. I'm like, who are you? I mean, and then he's like, you know that bruise on your leg? It's like, yeah. I used sodium pentothal on you. You told me you were wearing this one nightgown. You been over him probably once, and they seen your butt by accident, and you had a life of pain because of it. I'm like, who are you? That man admitted to breaking and entering and is drugging me up to get me to say something stupid like that. I went home, I'm like, Dave, I always wear the grandma nightgown down to my knees. It's a big tent nightgown. When I'm wearing a house coat when the grandkids are over. I know that. Or like in a sweater and a house coat when the grandkids are over. I know that. I said, besides your grandma nightgown and the couple laces, I just replaced them the year before. Everything else. He's like, I know that. It's my 50th birthday. I treated myself. He didn't know what he was talking about. They made a lie up on my mail son. He's like, I'll verify it. It never happened. And then they told people I broke in a home, tied my arms and legs to a chair, knocked it over, kicked it over, and jumped out a window. They supposed to have told me to say I was a murderer. Not that either. I don't know. People, I was drugged up so bad up there. I had up to 8 bruises from injection marks. It's documented I weighed 212 to 217. October 1st of 18, and February 24th, I weighed 150 pounds. I lost 5 to 7 pounds a week at one point. I couldn't even keep saliva down from being drugged up. And where I thought Dave was poisoning me, because every time he touched my drinks, I'd throw up. I thought he was poisoning me. It came out he was roofing me and telling me to say stupid stuff. And then when I was sober, where they couldn't get to me, he defends me, and I taped him in a legally bugged house. So everything I have, the police have. I've never been questioned of wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. I have 1 traffic ticket. The Ravenna police were teasing me in Walmart. Will gave Karen no wrongdoing in life because she wouldn't abuse it, inform it. Life of peace, accused of no wrongdoing and nothing legally dated against you again. Only for you and only for you would we ever do this, for always put it back to a traffic ticket even when it's over. And you can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. And no man will ever touch you. My God, that man needed to look into some. I got touched on ungodly levels. It was like living through a fucking concentration camp. And what's bad is they sold a login by Christmas 18. And they sold it, God, it went across the nation at one point. I had a 2-mile long parade. It's common knowledge. Old ladies have it, teenagers, truck drivers. Some guy looked like Al from Home Improvement from Washington State. People from California, Texas, Gentlemen's Club from Florida, New York, Indiana, Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Virginia. I had a 2-mile long parade. And everybody knows about the shower scene. And the drug confessions before. And I'd never been questioned. And that I was framed. They even admitted to framing me. I have like the stupidest criminals around me. My one client, I was out at the store and another man admitted personally drugging me and told me to say stuff in front of him. He's like, and other people were making fun of me because they raped me. One undercover officer. And he's like, Karen, this is crazy. I'm like, who's crazy? He said, these people, they admit to drugging you and telling you to say stuff in stores and they've raped you in front of people. And I'm like, stay out of it. I'll tell the police in this area. I told the FBI. I've never been questioned. There is nothing filed against me. I was found innocent in 2018. They found all the kids lying because they wanted the house for the judge's daughter. And they were making everything up. And everybody else spoke highly of me. It's not funny. I mean, what would those people actually say? Karen, when that door was knocked in that day, it wasn't a realtor. It was Michelle and her goony friends stalking you. Yes, I'd like to press charges. And they photoshopped a shower scene and paid some of the undercover police to break in and stab you with needles. Yes, I'd like to press charges. We're sorry, honey. Yeah. It's private property. Police can't just break in stuff. And they don't get a court order for it. It's protected like custody only. And you can't work a case with conflict of interest. It's 1 to 10 years. Even for the police. Yeah. And I've never been questioned. Like that guy said, they really never... Well, what would they file? What would they file? What would they file? That's where it comes rich. What would they file? A shower scene that everybody knows about and over 10 men told on? Or the fake sodium pentothal reports where they drugged me up with amnesia drugs? What? To file it, to put them in jail for drugging me and kidnapping me? Yeah. For stalking me in my home? Yeah. An attempt at extortion? Yeah. Because that's the only way they ever get filed is to put them against them. And it's not admissible and they can't look or listen. It's illegal to. Like Officer Reinhard Geffeld. The 2 sheriffs I talked to. Too. These people are looking stupider and stupider. The more they say, they're looking stupider and stupider. People need to work. Some lady realized last year they're manipulating all of us. They are. And these people need to wake up. Just because you're a retired judge and you have money and you can pay off some dirty cops to help out doesn't make it legal, honey. It makes it more illegal. And like I said, the regular Ravenna place is hi, sweetie. Karen's a real sweetheart. And we all know she's an informer. That kind of stuff. And they came down, for we all know this woman's innocent. For we all know. FedEx October 2020. And what are you talking about? She's never hurt anybody. So, yeah. Where are you getting this? From those weirdos that drugged me up and told me to say crazy stuff like that? Because it's not funny. None of this is funny. But yeah, I guess that old guy that was down here from Ravenna told them not to open their mouths. They better not open their mouths against me.